Hi there. Question number one, how are you using your strengths? Maybe you can answer that question easily, but for most of the population, they cannot. Most people follow a path that their parents have laid out, that their teachers have dictated, that society expects them to take, and don't take the time to really discover their strengths. Most people are really focused on our weaknesses and our flaws and what they're doing wrong and what needs to be corrected. And sadly, when that happens, then our strengths lie dormant and neglected, and we really don't know who we are. But it is your turn and your turn to focus on you. So answering the first question will begin a journey of rediscovery and self-discovery of who you are. This is not about what you do. It's about who you are. What you do changes. Who you are is timeless. One of my favorite quotes by Bill Johnson says, "If you knew who God created you to be, you would never want to be anyone else." I love that. Let me say it again. If you knew who God created you to be, you would never want to be anyone else. So this journey is the beginning of knowing who God created you to be. And our strengths give us clues to who we are. So your strengths, which start as talents and then grow into strengths, are who you are at your core. It's part of your DNA. It's how you're designed. Your talents are uniquely and innately you. Using talents and strengths in our lives creates more success, increases our self-esteem, gives us more confidence, creates more joy in our lives because we're doing what we do well. So we really like ourselves. It's fun to do what we do well. It's fun to use our strengths and feel better about ourselves. But when we focus on our weaknesses, then it's hard to feel good about ourselves. We're just constantly looking at what we're not doing right. The more we use our gifts, the more we use our strengths, the better we get at our strengths, the more doors that will open for ourselves. And knowing our strengths also connects us to ourselves. Instead of focusing on our weakness, which really disconnects us from ourselves. Focusing and using our strengths brings us life and energy, and there's so many reasons to know what our strengths are, but one big one here is when we know ourselves and know our strengths and use them in everyday life, we're living a life that aligns with how we're designed. And when we live a life that's how we're designed, we can't help but live our purpose. So let me say that again. When we're living a life that's aligned with how we're designed, we can't help but live our purpose. And when we're living our purpose, we're going to impact people around us. We're going to be happier and we're going to be aligned with everything. I am sure you've heard of the term in the zone. Basically, meaning that you're firing on all cylinders and everything's going right. It's a term we use for athletes mostly. And when they are having a perfect game or doing things really well, we use that term, wow, they're really in the zone. Has that ever happened to you? Have you ever done something and while you're doing it, you just know inside, this is what I was made to do. And every single part of you comes alive. Every cell is on fire. You can't miss. You just like firing on all cylinders. I guarantee you in that moment, you were using at least one of your strengths, if not more. So living a life using your strengths allows that feeling of being alive. I want to live my life like that. I want to be engaged. I want my life to align with how I'm uniquely designed. And I believe that you do too. And that's why you're here. So in my opinion, it is the ultimate quest, right? That's the ultimate quest, to know who we are, to know our strengths, to engage with them, to live them every single day of our life, and to live our purpose. That doesn't mean it's going to be a life full of rainbows and we're going to be in the zone 24/7. In fact, it might be hard. It might be scary. There might be a lot of fear and resistance to stepping into that purpose, what we were designed for. But I can tell you this, my friends, getting there and getting on the other side of that will bring you the joy and fulfillment that most people just dream about. So let's get to work discovering our strengths. Below is a PDF, click on the button, and there's a worksheet there that's just a series of questions. But you're gonna need to find a quiet place, block out some time, put your phone away. You need uninterrupted time to answer these questions and do some real reflection. And then look for the common threads. What are the talents and the strengths that you're seeing, and how can you incorporate those into your lives? That's how you're gonna start. If you want us to do the work for you, we will do that. There's also another button that you can click for a sketch assessment. That's an assessment of what your top 5 strengths are, and we'll give you a summary report at the end. Normally we charge $150 for that, but with a special code, which will be Sketch VIP, it's on the button, Sketch VIP, it'll be yours for only $39. So however you want to do it, whether you want to do the workshop, whether you want to do the worksheet and do the work yourself, or you want to fill out the assessment, do the assessment online and get the report. Either way, just make sure you do that. Or there's other resources online where you can get find out what your strengths are. So either way, do that and get going on discovering your strengths, incorporating them into your life. You've just taken the first giant step to living life fully alive after kids.